Hello, and welcome to Wembley, Moscow.
And included amongst the girls taking part is Amelia Eberle from Romania, the current world champion in the floor exercise and silver medalist on the asymmetric bars at the Moscow Olympics. Zhou Caoling is from China. Last year, in an international competition in West Germany, she won the overall title and 4 individual apparatus titles. And from Great Britain, Mandy Gornall. She's from Farth in Lancashire and is the current Speedo women's all-round champion and was a member of the British team in the 1979 World Championships at Fort Worth in Texas. And as a special bonus, the incomparable Nellie Kim is here, not to compete, but to unveil her brand new floor routine. And I can promise you, that's something not to be missed.
The competition's divided into 2.
Now attempting her first vault, 15-year-old Cheryl Weatherstone from the United Kingdom. And she went for a straight Sukahara there, which became slightly tight. So if the judges do decide that, she'll be marked out as 9.5.
9.3 her score. Definitely marked as a pike Sukahara.
Now from the United States, 16-year-old Tracy Curtis, attempting her first vault. And the handspring with a 1.5 front somersault. And she scores 9.3. Japan, Yayoi Kano, a 17-year-old student. And going for a straight Sukahara there, but she piked early, so only scoring 9.25.
And now...
Here Eberle from Romania. Now she already leads with her first vault, which scored a 9.5. So let's see if she can better that. A straight Sukahara. No, not quite. 9.4. And now Mandy Gornall from the United Kingdom. And she is the current Speedo women's overall champion. And this is her first vault. And a straight Sukahara, not quite enough elevation there. And she only scores 9.3.
And waiting to go on the asymmetric bars is Olga Mostepanova from Russia. She started the competition badly, only scoring 8.95, so she'll be very anxious. But this is a really good routine.
She's a very cheeky little performer, this one, and one of the youngest here at 12 years old. And one of the most exciting prospects from the new squad of Soviet gymnasts. And a very nice Delchev there, performed very well. Now she was probably going for a Redoppler there, but made a slight mistake, hesitated, and ended up standing on the bar. That's going to cost her marks.
But she's really back into her rhythm. That giant circle and then the Stolder, a lovely finish. 9.35 her score.
Next.
The finish. Superb control, 9.55 for Kajutani. Now Amelia Eberle from Romania on the asymmetric bars, the piece of apparatus on which she won a silver medal in the Olympics.
And a good straddle half turn to catch there. In fact, Amelia is the former European senior champion and is the current Romanian overall champion. A brilliant gymnast. I think you actually saw her in Canada, John.
Yes, she made a mess of things in the World Cup in Toronto, so she'll be very anxious to do well. That's a good routine.
And she scores 9.6. Now, Keith Lang, first woman on the beam, is Zhuo Jingjing from China. And a very nice mount to a straddle support to elephant lift and a handstand.
Yes, the elephant lift doesn't sound very ladylike, but it's that trunk-like motion of the legs that gives it its name.
Zhuo Jingjing is in fact the current all-China asymmetric bars and beam champion. So this is probably one of her best pieces of apparatus.
Yes, good little combination there of cartwheel to free back walkover.
And this is her first international competition outside China. Her first visit to Britain as well. slightly off balance there. And the Corbett flip, made known by Olga Corbett, of course. Building up now to her dismount. And the double tucked back somersault.
Just made it. Important that she didn't put her hands down. And she scores 9.3.
To perform on the beam is Yayoi Kano from Japan. And she is the 1980 Japanese senior champion. And slight loss of balance there. It's going to mean loss of marks.
But a very difficult combination.
Nice, delicate arm movements. Free walkover, and again, loss of balance. And there again, too, with a 360-degree turn, which is very difficult.
Bad loss of balance there. That pirouette really does find the girl gymnasts on the beam out. The Japanese women, anxious to re-establish themselves in world gymnastics, they've been rather overshadowed by the Japanese men in recent years. Regained her rhythm well now. Great difficulty on the beam as you start worrying about the mistakes you've already made, and that reduced. And there, a very good double twist to finish with.
And she scores 9.35. And now on the beam, Zhou Xiaoling from China. A very nice mount.
You can almost see the interest from the top gymnastic nations in the world when the Chinese girls go onto each piece of apparatus, and the Chinese men. The rest of the gymnasts very worried about the talent coming out of China. They know that they're not going to be able to dominate world gymnastics by right for very much longer. The Chinese making a big impact.
Some fairly difficult moves in this routine.
Yes, unusually working there with both legs down one side of the beam.
And a very nice double twist to finish. 9.4.
9.5.
Natalia Ilienko from Russia. She's only 13 years old and is a current member of the Russian senior national squad. And this girl has tremendous mobility. Her body flows like water. A very good opening tumbling sequence. And once again, good use of the music.
Russian girls go very much for Western music. I don't know whether it's approved of there, but they certainly find it better to do their gymnastics to.
Lovely movements this girl has. Very nice double twist to finish there.
Beautiful extension all the way through. 9.55 her score.
For Romania, Amelia Eberle with her floor exercise. Now she's clearly in the lead at the moment with .15 in hand. And being the current world champion in the floor exercise, nothing short of a disaster should stop her from winning the title. And I spoke too soon. She's fallen and that's going to cost her marks.
Yes, that should cost her .5. It's really bad news for her. Really hard to score well after that sort of fall.
Yeah, she's really got a fight on her hands now if she's going to win this title.
Her routine's got all the elements of difficulty for a high mark, but she can't afford the slightest mistake now. Nice, confident, middle tumbling routine.
And a very nice one-handed back flip there. And once again, building up to that final tumbling sequence to finish the routine.
And she must land this absolutely perfectly.
And she does. Absolutely beautiful. Even though it's the end of her routine, still managing to pull out a double piked somersault. Very nice routine there. And all she can do now is really sit back and wait and see if any of the others make a mistake. Now, Zhou Xiaoling from China, and she needs 9.5 to win outright. Let's see what this girl can do.
An anxious Amelia Eberle just out of picture, watching this very nervously.
And there we see a triple twist, and I think that's the only girl in the competition to perform that.
Very difficult, the three twists. She just got round. Unusual half-turn front somersault there.
I would imagine that Amelia Eberle is quite worried at this particular moment.
No mistakes so far. Nothing major that the judges can take marks off. There again, a double twist. It's a good routine. The only weakness, perhaps, that second tumbling sequence, which didn't contain too much difficulty.
And she needs 9.5 to win outright. And she doesn't quite make it, 9.45. So equal first place, as you can see there, Amelia Eberle and Zhou Xiaoling equal first, with Yayoi Kano from Japan in third place. The individual beam title, this goes to Zhou Xiaoling from China.
And with Zhou Xiaoling coming equal first in the overall championship, the Chinese and the Japanese really made some inroads on the Eastern Europeans. And before this second part of the competition, she was in fact in second place behind Olga Mostepanova and Marilena Vladarau with a carryover score of 9.4. Of course, a repeat of the same exercise as she did in the overall competition, but she'll be looking to eliminate those little losses of balance that cost her that odd 0.1 of a mark to make the difference.
And a nice double twist to finish. And she scores 9.45, a good score. So, on her first visit to Great Britain, Zhou Xiaoling gets 2 gold medals. And the individual asymmetric bars title goes to Amelia Eberle of Romania. This a very good routine, very cleanly performed. And a shoot half turn to finish. And she scores 9.8, which was the highest individual mark in the girls' competition. Some consolation, perhaps, for not winning the overall championship outright. Now, that impish little girl, Olga Mostepanova, the 12-year-old from Russia, with her floor exercise.
Mostepanova takes a clear lead in from the first part of the competition. 9.65 her carryover score. It's a full mark ahead of her teammate Ilienko.
The Flight of the Bumblebee is the title of this music, which is most appropriate for this little girl. She really is buzzing around all over the place. A good head spring there, rather unusual.
She only needs to avoid mistakes here. She came 4th in the overall competition because she had a very bad vault, which has been something of a disappointment, but looks well on the way to making up for it with an individual title.
And that looked very close. She almost sprained her ankle there. I would imagine that's the reason why she's wearing those ankle supports.
But a nice double twist to finish with. Obviously managed to survive without serious damage there, even though it could have been very nasty.
And she scores 9.5. And already